Alright, well, hello everyone, welcome back to part 2 of Dagon, the H.P. Lovecraft rendition. Rendition, I don't think that's the right word. Let's say the H.P. Lovecraft story. Yeah, there's got to be some better word than turned into a game, but let's just say it's the H.P. Lovecraft story turned into a game. A walk through, visual story. I'm not sure how you would say what it is, but we're going to crack back into it. Last time we took off just as we got to the monolith, and my children are actually sleeping right now, that's why the mic's a bit close and I'm trying to talk a bit softly, but we'll put that down and let's get into the story. I guess I can hold this, it doesn't really matter, does it? I don't need fingers on a keyboard. It was the pictorial carving, however, that did most to hold me spellbound. Let's look at the clues. Dagon contains many themes and storytelling methods that Lovecraft developed in his later work, such as telling the story through carvings, the Mountains of Madness, the name of the city, journals and character notes, the shadow, out of time, the haunter of the dark, islands emerging from the ocean, the call of Cthulhu, or fictional beings and deities based on real events and mythologies, Mygo in the Whisper in Darkness. It also considered the origin of the popular Cthulhu mythos. Some of the Lovecraft's other stories also conclude in a manner similar to Dagon. Let's skip the details in order not to spoil the ending. Pretty sure I already read that. We finished looking at this. There's crocodiles, turtles, fish, seashells, turtles, sharks. Let's go down. Plainly visible across the intervening water on account of their enormous size were an array of bas reliefs whose subjects would have excited the envy of a doré. Don't ask me what that's supposed to mean. I think that these things were supposed to depict men, at least a certain sort of men. I can't even see it properly because of the fucking writing, and I can't look down. Though the creatures were shown disporting like fishes in the waters of some marine grotto. Obviously trying to talk a bit deeper for this one, so we'll see what that sounds like. Or paying homage at some monolithic shrine which appeared to be under the waves as well. Of their faces and forms I dare not speak in detail. That face that's just there looks like a Voldemort turtle thing. Just saying. For the mere remembrance makes me grow faint. Grotesque beyond the imagination of a Poe or a Bulwer. Again, I don't know what a Poe or Bulwer is. They're names of something. They were damnably human in general outline, despite webbed hands and feet, shockingly wide and flabby lips. Did you just mean like droopy lips? Like tentacly lips? Flabby lips. When I think flabby lips, I think like a pug or French bulldog. Glassy, bulging eyes and other features less pleasant to recall. Curiously enough, they seem to have been chiseled badly out of proportion with their scenic background. For one of the creatures was shown in the act of killing a whale, represented as but little larger than himself. Still, if it was that big, that's pretty... Like, it's hard enough to kill a small creature, let alone a creature that's bigger than you. I remarked, as I say, their grotesqueness and strange size, but in a moment decided that they were merely the imaginary gods of some primitive fishing or seafaring tribe. Some tribe whose last descendant had perished eras before the first ancestor of the Pilton or Neanderthal man was born. A West struck at this unexpected glimpse into the past beyond the conception of the most daring anthropologist. I stood, musing, whilst the moon cast queer reflections on the silent channel before me. It's actually pretty fucking noisy. Then suddenly I saw it. What? Why did it ding? Oh, ripples in the water. With only a slight churning to mark its rise to the surface, the thing slid into view above the dark waters. Oh, I don't like the shake. Vast, Polyphemus-like and loathsome, it darted like a stupendous monster of nightmares to the monolith, about which it flung its gigantic scaly arms, the while it bowed its hideous head and gave vent to certain measured sounds. I got chills from that. I think I went mad then. Of my frantic ascent to the sloping cliff, and of my delirious journey back to the stranded boat, I remember little. I believe I sang a great deal and laughed oddly when I wasn't able to sing. I'm still getting shivers. There's music in this, or the sound effect is quite good. I have indistinct recollections of a great storm, sometime after I reached the boat. At any rate, I know that I heard peals of thunder and other tones which nature utters only in her wildest of moods. At least you get fresh water. It's better than what some people get when they're stranded in a land of muck and monstrous creatures. When I came out of the shadows, I was in a San Francisco hospital, brought thither by the captain of the American ship which had picked up my boat in mid-ocean. In my delirium I had said much, but found that my words had been given scant attention. Of any land upheaval in the Pacific, my rescuers knew nothing, nor did I deem it necessary to insist upon a thing which I knew they could not believe. I mean, you do sound pretty crazy, mate. Lovecraft was a prominent figure in the world of amateur journalism. In 1915, he started publishing his own journal called The Conservative, which included political and social commentary, poetry, short stories, and literary criticism written by him and other authors. Howard was a skilled wordsmith, but he also took criticism to heart, which resulted in his decision to step away from writing poetry and concentrate on weird fiction again. For the first time since his teenage years, Dagon, published in 1919, is one of the short stories written during that period. In this example excerpt from The Conservative, the master of horror fiction explains his attitude towards warfare and the idea of world peace. Why any sane human being can believe in the possibility of universal peace is more than the conservative can fathom. Should the entire civilized world agree simultaneously to disarm, one or more nations would undoubtedly retain secret armaments at the proper time to take advantage of their more altruistic and less astute contemporaries in a wild career of conquest against unarmed victims. No country is, or ever can be, above warfare until the basic impulses of the human animal shall have miraculously changed. Greed. That's the only thing that needs to change is greed. You only take what other people want because you want more. Like, if you can live on your own, then you can live on your own. If you need more, you talk, you work it out. But just when people go, I need to have more because I don't fucking trust you, or whatever the reason is, that's what brings about the bloody conflict. Always bloody conflict. We're walking out the door. We're getting the fuck out this hospital. Once I sought out a celebrated ethnologist, and amused him with peculiar questions regarding the ancient Philistine legends of Dagon, the fish god. That doesn't look like the guy that we're seeing. My life before you. Bit hard to read any of this. Is this my house? Or is this the entomologist's house? No, I'm zooming now. Dagon, or Dagon, was the main deity of the Philistines, worshipped throughout the Middle East as the ancient god of fertility and crops. In Hebrew, the word Dagon was a common noun for grain. The rulers of Akkad, Mesopotamia, chose him as the patron saint of their war or conquests. He also appeared as the judge of the dead in an Assyrian poem in an underworld prison warder in one of the Babylonian texts. He is often mistakenly taken for a fish god due to the wrong interpretation of his name. As in Hebrew, the word dag means fish. In H.P. Lovecraft's works, Dagon is an underwater deity, ruling over the deep ones, a humanoid race with fish traits that reside in the oceans. He is worshipped by a secret cult called the Esoteric Order of Dagon. Interesting. Dagon. Oh, what's in here? But soon perceiving that he was hopelessly conventional, I did not press my inquiries. He just thinks I'm mad as well. I like the flooring. What am I here for? Oh. Gonna pull that out. August Derleth was an American writer and anthropologist. He also befriended Lovecraft and published many of his works through his company, Arkham House. Although he greatly contributed to the popularization of the author's works, after his death, he is surrounded by numerous controversies. One of his most questionable decisions involved introducing the good versus evil doctrine. Derleth was a devout Catholic to the Cthulhu mythos, which contrasted with Lovecraft's view of the world and his approach to cosmic horror. As a result, the author's works are often misunderstood and misrepresented in today's culture. It is also worth noting that Lovecraft was never really interested in creating a mythology, and the term Cthulhu mythos was coined by Derleth after the author left the mortal plane. I feel like there's a lot of inconsistency in the way that these people use words. Passing, left this mortal plane. What else did I come here for? Necronomicon. That's a bad book. Why is that flickering? Can I click on it? Ooh. Lovecraft's attempts to find a job in 1925 were influenced by advice he received from friends. Among others, he started freelancing for a marketing magazine where he would write announcements and commercials. Feel free to judge his copywriting skills for yourself. From an ad from Curtis Woodwork. Curtis Woodwork embraces both the usual structural units and the cleverest contrivances of built-in or permanent furniture, such as bookcases, dressers, buffets, and cupboards. Every model is conceived and created with the purest art, ripest scholarship, and mellowest craftsmanship, which energetic enterprise can command, and made to conform rigidly to the architecture of each particular type of home. The cost, considering the quality, is amazingly low. and a trademark on the individual pieces prevents any substitution by careless contractors. That's a pretty good ad. Like, it's almost like the new motivational ads you see now, where it makes you want to do stuff, and then they just say, "Oh, hey, buy Pepsi." You know, oh, thanks. Pepsi not endorsed, by the way. Drink water. What else we got over in this corner? I feel like there should have been something in the cabinet. Is that not what I came here for? Tell me to come over here? Or am I looking at the Necronomicon? Love Ash vs Evil Dead as well. The Necronomicon in that. Oh, we're going back over here. Oh, we're going over to the other cupboard. Like, if you get up and you just walk around from cupboard to cupboard, you might be insane. Still got a clock that isn't working. Now what am I here? What? I went from over there to here. There's not even a fact thing. Oh, there is a fact thing. There we go. Just had to find it. These days, the word scientist is a widely accepted term, but at the time Dagon was published, it was subject to a wide debate. After the author used it in the story, critics pointed out that man of science was a more appropriate term to employ. He admitted in defense of Dagon that if Dagon were to be reprinted, he would indeed use the phrase they suggested. Scientist was coined as an analogue to artist, to be used when referring to those studying different branches of science. Yet, in the 19th and early 20th century, scientific researchers in Great Britain and the United States were of the opinion that man of science, resembling the term man of letters, was the only proper choice. Among other things, it was gender-specific, indicating that science was an endeavour to be pursued by only one sex. The term scientist became more accepted only after World War II, and man of science started fading into obscurity as an old-fashioned synonym, not related to the cinnamon roll. Alright, glad I found that piece of information. Let's go out the door. Oh, and here we are. It is at night, especially when the moon is gibbous and waning, that I see the thing. Oh. I tried morphine, but the drug has only given transistent surcease and has drawn me into its clutches as a hopeless slave. So now I am to end it all, having written a full account for the information or the contemptuous amusement of my fellow men. Which one first? Let's read the fact. Lovecraft hated tobacco, even though he used to smoke when he was 12 in order to look and feel like an adult. In his correspondence with friend Reinhard Kleiner, he claims that he quit as soon as he started wearing long pants. It's a odd memory. Like, that's your key memory. Like, every time you put on pants, like, oh, I remember the first time I did this, I stopped smoking. He also had a very strong opinion about alcohol, as evidenced by his letter to Zela Brown, dated 13th February 1928. As for the matter of drinking, I've never tasted intoxicating liquor and never intend to. Having a strong aesthetic disgust at anything which blunts or coarsens the delicate natural equipoise of the evolved human intellect and imagination. Drinking excited my personal repugnance, hence I don't drink. Let the herd do what they will. I am rather in favour of prohibition, the prohibition of any one anti-social force as well as any other. Source: The Spirit of Revision, Lovecraft's Letters to Zela Brown, Reed Bishop, H.P. Lovecraft, Sean Brennery, and Andrew Lehman, S.T. Joshi. So, you're telling me that there's a book literally about him and people he talked to? I'll have to get one of these books, I guess. Actually see what he's about. Try to read it. I mean, this is telling me now what the story is, but book's always different. Often I ask myself if it could not all have been a pure phantasm, a mere freak of fever, as I lay sun-stricken and raving in the open boat after my escape from the German man of war. This, I ask myself, whatever does there come before me a hideously vivid vision in reply. I cannot think of the deep sea without shuddering at the nameless things that may at this very moment be crawling and floundering on its slimy bed, worshipping their ancient stone idols and carving their own detestable likeness of a submarine obelisks of water-soaked granite. I dream of day when they may rise above the billows to drag down in their reeking talons the remnants of puny war-exhausted mankind. Of a day when the land shall sink, the dark ocean floor shall ascend amidst universal pandemonium. It's a bit sadistic, just because they thought you were crazy. And we're back. The end is near. Why can't I hear Big Man? Oh, shivers down my spine again. The end is near. Oh. I hear a noise at the door, as of some immense slippery body lumbering against it. Take your morphine, bro. Can't kill you if you're already dead. I'm clicking it. Can I just jump out the window? It shall not find me. Yeah, bro. Back the God, that hand. The window! The window! Yeah, nothing's gonna happen. Fuck off. Godly man can't even fucking push a bedside table out the way. See ya, bitch. Is that it? We're done. Thank you for playing. We hope you enjoyed immersing yourself in our little pool of cosmic horror. We would appreciate it if you took a moment to rate Dagon and check out our other games and DLCs. I might just do that because, like, it's still, like, as far as a thriller, or it's not so much horror, but thriller, it gave me that little shriek, that tingle up your spine. And have I got goosebumps? No, don't have goosebumps, so I didn't do that. But it's also interesting to read facts, a bit of story, and like mythology is a pretty big genre, no matter what it is, whether it's Egyptology, Norse, Greek, you know. I always find those kind of stories quite interesting. So I might do a part 2 for the DLC, part 3. I don't know. If you think we should go through that, let me know. Leave a comment down below. If not, we'll move on to something else. But that's it for tonight. That's the end of Dagon. The full story, I guess. Is that? I guess that's all that happens in the book. I have to find the book to really find out. But thanks everyone so much for coming. I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye, Miss American, bye. Ooh. What's the other one that says bye bye? Bye bye. Bye bye, black sheep. Alright. See yous.